So this question is a statistical test question, and we're told that they're investigating whether there's different skills that could make us a good climber. So from her climbing group, she records the different times and she splits the climbers into two groups, those that swim and those that do gymnastics. And we're told that we're investigating whether there is a difference. It's not that the swimming is greater or less than the gymnastics, it's just, is there a difference between them? If we look further down, we're told that there is a null hypothesis that the mean of the swimming is equal to the mean of the gymnastics. And we know that it is a t-test because 1, they tell us t-test, and 2, we have those 2 lists of data that tell us that we're probably going to be doing a t-test. So the first part is that we need to write down the alternate hypothesis. So the alternate hypothesis was told to us right at the start of the question here, and we're told that we're trying to see whether or not there is a difference, and therefore the alternate hypothesis is that the mean of the swimming is not equal to the mean of the gymnastics. So the mean of swimming is not equal to mean of gymnastics. And then part B, for part B, we're told to calculate the p-value for that test. So for this, we need to go to our GDC. We're going to go to statistics and edit. And you can see here I've typed in 2 lists of data. So the first is for the swimmers and the second is for the gymnastics. Once we have this, we're going to go to statistics and then across to tests. And we want to have a 2-sample t-test. So that's option 4. It's 2 samples. We have 1 sample, 2 samples, and it's a t-test that we're doing. So we can see here we've got the first list of data in list 1, the second list in list 2, make sure frequencies are 1, and then we need to select the hypothesis we want, and we want them not to be equal. We should always have pulled yes, make sure you have the pulled on as yes, and then we're going to calculate the answer there. So the p-value there is 0.639 to 3 significant figures. So it's this one here, 0.639. So the p-value is equal to 0.639. And then the last part says that we need to state the conclusion to the test. So the conclusion to the test there is that if the p-value is equal to 0.639 and the significance level is equal to, and we're told at the beginning of the question here that it's a 5% significance level. So 5% is 0.05. We can also write this as 63.9% and 5%. Okay, so when we compare those 2 values, we can see that the significance level is, and the p-value is bigger than the significance level. When the p-value is larger, this means what's the likelihood of the null hypothesis being true. Therefore, it's big enough that we're happy to take it. So we accept the null hypothesis, okay, which means that we are accepting that there's no difference in the means and that actually the swimmers and the gymnastics don't have a better skill or an advantage towards climbing, but they're actually both equal. So in terms of marks for this question, the first one is 1 mark. You need to make sure that you have this written. You can write it in words, but it needs to include the word mean, and that is 1 mark. The p-value is 2 marks here. One of them is for rounding and one of them is for the answer. Part C is 1 mark for the reasoning. So that would be this part here, and 1 mark for the answer. And the same as normal, you are not allowed a reasoning mark unless you have an answer mark. So you cannot have reasoning 1, answer 0. Not possible. Okay.